Listen, there's a real difference between the best clones, whether you want to call them clones, impressions, inspired buys. I tend to refer to covers and remixes. You know, some people call them dupes, renditions, whatever. And we can argue what are the best clones out there on the market. But this video in particular, I'm going to tell you my favorite. Now, there are 8 I can just rip off. And then as it relates to the last 2 spots, you know, I'm trying to see what can take up those 2 spots. So let's go ahead and jump into today's conversation. My favorite 8 plus 2 with some honorable mentions. Let's get it. Yo, what's going on, party people, Fatboy family? I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you're having an amazing week so far. It is Wednesday. It is hump day. I don't know where you are, but the weather is absolutely beautiful. And I'm so excited. Even though spring is not officially here, it's unofficially here. And I hope it is here to stay. But nonetheless, I appreciate you guys coming by. Do me a favor. Feel free. Hit that like button. Smash that subscribe button. And while you're at it, go ahead and click the bell so you can be notified every single time I post new content to the channel. But let's go ahead and jump right into today's conversation. Again, going to be talking about clone fragrances, covers, remixes. And I know a lot of times we get in trouble for doing these lists, these top 10s, these top 30s, these top 50s, whatever. And a lot of times we try to debate, argue what the best clones are. That's not why I'm here. I want to talk about, I want to, put 10 toes down and let you know where I stand with these are my favorite. Like I said in the pre-roll intro, 8 of these, I just know for a fact they're probably not going to change. These are my favorite 8 that, boom, off the top of my head, if you ask me, I can just give them to you. But when we get to, and I'm not going to give these in any particular order, I'm just going to reach for them as they come. But when we get to those last 2, it's like, what can I put in these spots? You know what I'm saying? I'm also going to give some context as to why, you know what I'm saying? We talk about clones versus OGs. First of all, shout out to Fragrance Connoisseur, Charm City. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. If you don't, link in the description, here in the info card as well. Go catch the replay. Crazy conversation last night, but dope video. But shut up, Walt. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Starting off, number 1, in no particular order, I'm just grabbing this in front of me. Joe Milano, Game of Spades wild card. This is an amazing clone, an amazing inspired by an amazing cover of one of my favorite fragrances from Bond number 9, Lafayette Street. Also, let me give context to this. Every single fragrance I'm discussing, I have either owned a full bottle of, I no longer have anymore, and that's the reason I have the clone. I've bought as a gift to somebody, or I currently have decants or samples of. So this is not where I'm doing reviews and comparisons or whatever. This is just me simply talking about the fragrance. But again, arguably, I think this is not just one of my favorite clones. This could also qualify for one of the best clones out there. But again, this one specifically, Lafayette Street, inspired by, this is Joe Milano, Game of Spades wild card. I think it gets no better than that. Alexandria has a great one as well. All right, we're going to keep it moving. No secret to the channel, no secret to the space. We have Liquid Brun. All right, you know what I'm saying? From French Avenue, under the umbrella of Fragrance World. This is a clone and inspired by a cover, a remix of Parfums de Marley Alta here. Beautiful, beautiful, warm vanilla ice cream type of scent. All right, let's keep going. You guys already know how I feel about this. This was in my 30 for spring video. It's more like 38. We have Armaf, Odyssey, Aqua. This might be my favorite clone, probably my favorite, just one of my favorite fragrances, period. And I've owned platinum, actually gifted it, and I got a chance. My brother was the one that actually put me on this, and I actually just prefer this. I like this actually a lot better. This is a inspired by take, a clone, a cover of Paco Rabanne's, or let me say Rabanne's Invictus Platinum. So we have that one. All right, let's keep it going. Y'all know, you guys know how much I love this right here. We have from Dua brand. This is A Night in New York. This is their version of Bond number 9, New York Nights. Like I said last night, and I've said this before, Mancera is my favorite house, but Bond number 9 is right there behind him. It's like 1A, 1B. If you ask me some of my favorite DNAs out there, Honestly, Bon Number 9 might be my favorite house because that was really kind of what introduced me to the fragrance game from uncles and stuff like that. But man, Sarah's I've purchased the most of, and I tend to give them a lot more love. But as far as DNAs that I love, I can rip off Bon Number 9 DNAs that I'm in love with. And this is definitely one of my favorite ones from them. Again, Dua is hit and miss with a lot of things, but this is actually an amazing take and one of the best out there, if not the best on that particular DNA. Beautiful caramel scent from caramel and coffee, vanilla scent from Bon Number 9 New York Nights. All right, let's keep it going. We have from the house of Yom Layl. This is what they call Basic Instinct. And this is their version of one of the fragrances I fell in love with, Mind Games French Defense. Shout out to my brother Dedrick Hicks that put me on to that fragrance. And I got a decant, I got a sample. My boys know I was planning on buying a full bottle. And then at the end of the year, as a Christmas gift to myself, I ended up getting this from, purchasing this from Yom Layl. And I was like, okay, I can hold off. I can hold off from dumping, you know what I'm saying, all of that money. And again, that's one of the reasons a lot of people buy clones. If you like OGs, like OGs. If you like clones, if you like designers, if you like niche, whatever, like what you like, love what you love. We don't do slander on this channel. We review everything. We know clones are hot right now, so we drop a lot of clone content. We drop a lot of inspired by content because those are the things that you guys want. But we support just fragrance. I love fragrance. I'm experiencing a lot of things that I haven't even talked about on the channel, and we'll get into that the rest of the year. We got 9 months left to go. So there's a lot of fragrance, a lot of conversation, and I'm posting at least 3 videos a week. So there's a lot of opportunity to talk about a lot of things. As many clone fragrances as they are, I can't talk about it every single day of the week. Some people can, I personally can't because there are other things I wear, including designer and niche. But as it relates to this is some amazing juice right here. Yom, forgive me if I'm saying Yom. I keep saying Yom Layl, but it's probably Yom Layl. Those guys did an amazing job. Definitely check that out. We're going to stay with the house of Yom Layl. This is what they call Breaking Bad. This is their version of another beautiful tobacco. One of my favorite tobacco fragrances, probably my favorite from Parfums de Marly Herod. All right, Parfums de Marly Herod is, oh my God. To me, it's probably my second or third favorite scent to really wear in the fall or the winter time behind La Mel, La Parfum, and then that Alta Hair DNA or whatever. But yeah, this again, they have 3 that I swear by. And here's the thing, because even when we were in the live last night, people have issues where they be like, Yom Layl, they've got some trash or this. Everybody has trash, but then that's subjective because one man's trash is another man's treasure. Yom has some fragrances that I'm like, okay, I'm not with that. Like their their version of Greenwich Village and then their version of, I think it's Bleecker Street. I'm not a fan of at all, like at all. Now I'll come on the channel and talk about it. It's kind of weird though sometimes where it's like, why do I come on the channel to talk about something I specifically don't like intentionally? Even though I do that. When I have certain experiences, I'll be like, whoa, okay. But I'm not going to put that in front of all the other content that I need to put out. You know what I'm saying? So Lattafa has trash. Armaf has trash. Afnan has trash. There's some designer companies out here that have trash. I'm pretty sure there's some niche companies out here that's kind of like trash. I'm using trash because that's what some people say. Again, I'm not going to call, there's only one fragrance I really call trash. And that was that Banana Republic stuff that y'all told me to go buy another bottle of. I haven't yet, but we'll get around to that. But yeah, like, I don't know. Some of y'all is weird. Nonetheless, Yom Layl Breaking Bad, their version of Parfums de Marly Herod, absolutely stunning. And then I want to get a full bottle of this, but I still have a full bottle of the original. This might actually, I'm recommending this like crazy because it's arguably one of the best clones out of this list. If not, it could end up becoming one of the best ones that I own. But this is what we call, it's not Talab. What is the name? Let me check real quick because I know I'm getting this mixed up. This is Talab. This is Yom Layl Talab. This is their version. This is a 30 ml. This is their version of Lamar by Kajal. And when I tell you, oh my God, I listen, buy the OG or buy this. You can't go wrong with either one. When I tell you it's like that, it's like that. It's like that. Lamar by Kajal has a little bit more depth, just the slightest bit more depth. You know what I'm saying? But this is right there. This is definitely becoming one of my favorites. You know, as much as I talk about Wild Card, as much as I talk about Liquid Brun, as much as I talk about Odyssey Aqua, man, y'all guys know how I feel about that. And that definitely is right up there with it. The only reason I got this 30 mil, and as you can see, like, I have the original bottle, you know what I'm saying, as I do with, you know, a lot of these other ones, but it's like, hey, if I'm getting at least, you know what I'm saying, the same experience for myself, regardless of what other people think, I'm going to use that, and we're going to save the juice, which is another reason a lot of people don't want to waste all of that fragrance. You know, especially if they, depending on how much money they spend on it, you know. So, and then we're gonna get to the 8th one. Again, these are not in any particular rank, any particular order, but I love this fragrance, and for some people it leans a little feminine, but there is just something about this. I love the OG, but I love this clone as well, and I haven't had an opportunity to get my hands on a full bottle of the OG yet, and I probably will at some point, but this right here is second to none when it comes to this. This is from my boy T over at Nazar, and this is his version of Killian's Moonlight in Heaven. There are certain fragrances, certain DNA, certain profiles that I just love to lounge around in. Like if I'm with my significant other or whatever, it's a very sensual fragrance, and it's light, it's sweet. A lot of people feel like it gives off this floral jasmine type vibes. I love it. I'm one of those people, you know, many may not describe this as unisex, but I think it's an amazing unisex fragrance. And I've tried to be very careful with the sprays on this one. So a lot of times, if I'm just chilling at the crib, I'll wear this around, you know, I might wear this on a date, you know, I'll chill, you know what I'm saying, for the most part. But definitely out the shower, if it's Netflix and chill type of situation, this has never failed. You don't want something too strong. You don't want something too weak. And so those are the 8. Those are the 8 right off the bat. Now, there are a couple of others that could probably round out 9 and 10 that I really, really, really do love. One of them I have loved for a very long time. I think it's one of the first shorts that I posted. Another one from Armaf, we have Odyssey On. Now, this used to be one of the things I definitely loved in the fall and the winter. I still do, right behind Harrod and Alta Hair and New York Nikes. This is probably coming in 4th place. And this is more of a hybrid between Dior Homme Intense and Tom Ford's, dang, I forget this joint every time. They got a black bottle and they got a gold bottle. Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. Woo, one of my other favorite fragrances. Noir Extreme. All right. So I absolutely love this one. And I used to reach for it all the time. Oh my God, the level of sweetness in that is amazing. But then my, you guys know how much I love La Mela Parfum, but my 1B is Paco Rabanne's 1 Million Lucky. And so, you know, those are the things I have bought multiple bottles of. We've gone through 100 meals of that. So we've bought 3 and 4 bottles at this point in life because that's one of the things we wear. And so one of the other clones that I really love that I think is one of the best out there, and I know Lattafa has their version, but Dumont, Soprano Soul, and shout out to Dumont, who does some of the best quality out there as it relates to clones. They don't get enough love. So if you haven't checked this one out, check this one out. I think you can get this one in particular from Perfume Box. And everything will be linked down in the description. But when it comes to 1 Million Lucky, and at one point there was concern whether 1 Million Lucky was going to get discontinued or not. So that's the other reason people will probably buy clone fragrances if you're not familiar with them, is if a fragrance is discontinued, there's a great opportunity for a clone to come in and kind of remind you of that experience. And so even though we kind of bought as many bottles as we could at the time of 1 Million Lucky, there's still that conversation that it potentially could be discontinued. Nonetheless, in the meantime, I'm like, hey, Nazar has an amazing version as well. It's Tease is actually mixed with plum Japanado, so I probably shouldn't tell y'all that. So that's the only reason I can't recommend it here. That's more of a hybrid. It's amazing though. That's secret. I ain't even really supposed to tell y'all that. But this Soprano Soul from Dumont, definitely one of the best things out there from 1 Million Lucky. And then another DNA that I love is Smoking Hot from Killian, for same reasons. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to spend the price on the bottle, especially for the size of the bottles. It's not like you can get 100 ml of that or whatever. And those are fragrances that I would actually wear the heck out of. But Mashrabia from, you know what I'm saying, Latafa, I feel like this is the closest one that I've gotten a chance to smell so far. So those are, I kind of toss and turn between, you know, what I could fill up with that 9th and that 10th spot. Those are things that would qualify. But here's the thing. I have other fragrances that could fill up that spot. You know, you guys know I love that Rificat, you know what I'm saying, from Paris Corner, which is the Baby Cat. I'm really loving and enjoying this. You can see the dent we're putting in this, you know what I'm saying, that Rasasi Hawass Fire, which is that Gisa Imperial Valley. One thing that I'm really loving, and I'm mad it took me so late to jump on board with this, is that Cod Lodge Island. You know what I'm saying? So this is definitely going to become a favorite. This is Le Beau, Le Parfum. We definitely know, y'all see what's happening here. You know what I'm saying? With that Aqua Dubai. And I have the Joe Milano Full House version as well. But then you have like, listen, I'm in love with this Teriyaki Intense. You know what I'm saying? Basically take Angel Share, Plum Japanese, and kind of have a baby. You end up like, so I know what's going to happen, and maybe Latafa won't do this, but you know how Kamra, they came out with Kawa and they added coffee to it. They could have just came out with another version of Kamra and added plum to it. But instead of that, they just took Teriyaki, made it a flanker, and you really get, especially in the dry down, some of that same familiarity with Kamra, just with plum added. This definitely could take one of those spots. So when we're talking about, those are my favorites, I want to establish that, because some of y'all can get in the comments and be like, some of y'all are going to understand and y'all going to read between the lines, and you can be like, yeah, man, I absolutely love those. These are the ones that I love. But then there are going to be some of y'all that are going to be like, man, I can't believe that you didn't put, you know what I'm saying, Club de Nuit per show. It's one of the best clone releases of I didn't say it wasn't. We're not having that conversation. You know what I'm saying? You know, we could easily put Afnan Supremacy Collection. You know what I'm saying? We could easily, this might be Armaf's best work right here. You know what I'm saying? This is a YSL Le Parfum joint. Speaking of YSL, the best YSL EDP clone out there. Latafa Fakar Black. You can't forget about Afnan Tarafi, you know what I'm saying, Blue, that Bulgari Tiger. When we get into conversation about best, that's a totally different conversation. We can talk about Afnan Supremacy, but not only intense, you know what I'm saying? So again, I'm not talking about best. I'm talking about my favorite. So yeah, I just wanted to establish that, continue that conversation. Y'all let me know down in the comments, man. I definitely want you to hit like, hit subscribe, and you know, click the bell so you can be notified every single time I post new content to the channel. And make sure when you click the bell, you change it to all, you know, personalize the settings so you can get all the notifications. But I know I've been running my mouth for a while, but yeah, man, like those are my 8 with some honorable mentions of what could take 9 or 10. And it's fluid. We're only like, there are a lot of different things out there. I know some of you will agree with my list, but it's my list. It's like Stephen A's list. This is my list, and this list is not necessarily fluid. There might be 2 or 3 spots that are up for grabs, but me personally, somebody's going to have to work hard to unseat these 8 in my life. That's it. And these are also some of my favorite DNAs. So it's not just me pulling out clones. It's like, no, these are some of my favorite DNAs. So if I am going to add the 9th and the 10th spot, I'm probably going to go ahead and give it to these 2 because of that DNA reason. Because I do love Noir Extreme. And you have that hybrid, kind of like you add that iris with DHI from there, and then soprano soul. But I'm gonna tell you like this teriyaki intense and this mash rabia, if they were honorable mention, you know what I'm saying, and they came up the rear, these two right here, my goodness, I absolutely love them joints. So yeah, y'all holla at your boy. Let me know in the comments what you think, how you feel, what's your favorite. Not necessarily like, so when I say my top 10, my top 10, this is overall, regardless of seasons, whatever, my top 10, not necessarily what you think is the best, but what do you love the most and what do you reach for? Because that, I remember Gil's Arena was having that conversation. There's a difference between your top 5 players and being your top favorite players. What you favor is not always the best. Ooh, that's a word for somebody. What you favor is not always the best. And that's why some people get upset. That's why some of y'all got haters and some people don't like you, because you're not the best. But guess what? You are the favorite. All right, on that note, I'll holla at y'all. That's only for the people that stuck around and needed to see that. Y'all can get the blessing from what I said. Some of y'all, I know y'all done been clicked off. But if you stuck around long enough to hear that, I need you to understand that. Put a smile on your face, because regardless of what it is that you do in this life, you don't have to be the best as long as you're favorite. Why? Because favor ain't fair. And that's why a lot of people are mad, because you're favorite and you're not even the best. Clones. Y'all might not be the best when it comes to quality, but guess what? Got that favor. All right, I shouldn't even have brought that up. I'll holler at y'all, man. Y'all have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week, boy. You a wild guy. You a wild guy.